The big show. We'll be right with you.
This is Maker Faire 2016. Friday, which is day 1, and we're about to see the Mentose and Coke show. He says he's got 108 bottles that are set up ready to go. Very wet, very messy, but very cool.
I'm gonna walk up to you.
Yeah. Be careful not to get too close or you'll get wet.
Good afternoon.
Excuse me.
We are ABEY, and we are experts at doing stupid things. And we are so happy to be here at Maker Faire. This is our favorite place in the world. You know, it was about 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago, that we first dropped a handful of Mentose into a bottle of Coke and went, oh, that's cool. Let's get more. And it took about 6 months of work, where weekends and nights in between everything else we had going on. About 6 months after we first started experimenting, we made a video. And we put it online, and now the scary thing is 100 million people have seen that video. But our favorite thing is that it brings us here to Maker Faire. Because this is where we find our kindred spirits. This is where we find the people who want to break things, who want to open things up and see how they work, who want to get wet, just like us. So, without any further ado, I think if there's one thing that you take away from your time here at Maker Faire, if there is one thing that you take away from your time here at the ABEY Coke and Mentose show, we hope that it is this. Try this at home. Absolutely. Let's show you how you can do it yourself.
The basic way to do this is so ridiculously easy. There's no excuse for anybody here not to have tried this before the weekend is out. All you need is a piece of paper and a playing card or a business card. And you just roll that piece of paper up into a tube and put the playing card or the business card on the bottom of the tube, and then drop 5 Mentose candies into the tube. And that playing card will hold them in place. So when Fritz puts that whole assembly over the mouth of the bottle, and then when he pulls that card out, the Mentose will drop in, and we'll get that nice geyser effect. I think those of you who were here a few minutes ago saw that when you try and put them in by hand, once you have 4 or 5 Mentose, you can't get them all in fast enough. But when you use this very simple method, it works like this. 3, 2, 1, pull. And what's the most important thing? Arms up! So that is so ridiculously easy. There's no excuse for anybody here not to do this before Sunday afternoon. Now, we can't use that paper tube method when we have 108 bottles. So if you look, you probably have noticed there's a little white tube on top of each of the bottles on the stage. That's just a piece of PVC that we put together at the ABEY lab. Inside there, before the show, we loaded 5 Mentose candies, and there's a little wire pin holding those candies in. So when we pull the pin out, the Mentos drop into the bottle, the geyser happens and shoots out whatever hole we've drilled in the top of the nozzle. So that way we can time them all, we can hold the Mentos where they need to be to the exact right moment. Now this one I can tell because it has a black stripe, means it has a 1/2 inch hole, and that makes a geyser that looks like this. 3, 2, 1, pull. Nice. So that has a simple 1/2 inch hole. You don't have to limit yourself to 1 hole. This one, I can tell by the orange stripe, it means it has 3 holes. These are 3/4 inch holes. And that makes a geyser that looks like this. 3, 2, 1, pull. Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't need to limit yourself to round holes. You can put whatever shape you want. You can shape your soda in whatever shape you think will look cool. This, we just took a hacksaw to the top of the nozzle and cut a slot across the top. And that looks like this. 3, 2, 1, pull. Oh, the wind is blowing right at me. Yes! So you guys are makers. You should make these kind of nozzles, and that's not that hard to do either. It's just PVC and a bottle cap, and there's one secret trick we'll tell you about.
Yeah, if you want to make these nozzles yourself, it took us a long time to find the right kind of glue. So the tube and the top of the nozzle are both made out of PVC plastic, so PVC cement works great. But to attach the tube to the bottle cap is 2 different kinds of plastic, and that's very tricky. So here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some 3M Scotchwell DP8005 structural plastic adhesive. Yes, indeed, give it up for DP8005. I can see some of you writing that down. If you wanna make your own and you've forgotten, you get home and you're like, what was that? Just shoot us a message on Facebook or drop us a line on ebbybird.com and we'll let you know what that was. It's DP8005 structural plastic adhesive. But being makers, you're not going to stop there.
You can put whatever top you want on your geyser nozzles. That's just a sprinkler from Home Depot. And of course, they make all different kinds of sprinklers. We just have these 2 in the show, but when you guys make your own, be creative. Let us know what you do, too. Send us pictures.
Now, the biggest question we get asked is what causes this crazy reaction? What is it about the combination of Coke and Mentos that causes this explosive reaction? And you'd think that it would be a chemical reaction. You'd think it would be primarily the ingredients of the soda and the candy that would make this possible. But in fact, it's primarily a physical reaction. It's primarily a physical reaction called nucleation. And you can see nucleation in action if you take your finger and you put it inside a little cup of soda pop. You'll see bubbles forming on the ridges of your fingers. And that's what's happening inside these bottles. It turns out that with all this carbon dioxide saturated inside the liquid of the soda, it is under pressure, it is trying to escape. And it will grab onto anything bumpy it can find, like the ridges of your finger. And it turns out that the final stage of the creation of a Mentose is they get sprayed with over 40 layers of liquid sugar, which makes them not only tasty, it means that if you look at them under a microscope, you'll see literally hundreds of thousands of tiny little bumps. And every single one of those bumps is a place for the carbon dioxide to grab onto. So when you drop the handful of Mentos into a bottle of Coke and they sink down to the bottom, you get bubbles grabbing onto the surface, you get hundreds of thousands of bubbles grabbing onto those bubbles, it releases all the pressure, sends the soda flying out the mouth of the bottle.
Now, when we're making the different effects you see here, one of the steps that we always try to take, and the thing you can do when you're working on whatever it is you're working on to make it interesting and bigger and more spectacular, is what we call variation. We look for as many different variations as we can find. That's why those nozzles were different kinds. We put them all together in a big show. And we thought we'd show you a new variation we haven't shown many people before. This one is simply a regular geyser with the pin that pulls the Mentose out is attached to a string. And the other end of that string is attached to a metal cup that's on top of this geyser. So when the geyser shoots off, this cup goes up in the air. And that pulls that string, which pulls the pin, which we have attached to another bottle, which sets off that bottle. So this should set up a chain reaction. We have a bottle here just like this one, and we're going to clip that string to that pin. So if this works right, the first geyser will shoot up in the air, shoot that cup up in the air, the cup will pull the string will pull the pin on the next geyser, and that will shoot the next cup up in the air. And so we should get, pulling one pin should set off one, and then two bottles. 3, 2, 1, pull. 1, 2, yes, it works! Yes. And in the 108 bottles you see up here, you may see that effect if things work right today.
Yes, indeed. You should in fact see 12 bottles going in one chain reaction at the end of our choreography, something that we have never done before, something that we are premiering right here at Maker Faire Bay Area. Now, want to make sure that you guys here over here at the edge of the stage, you need to stay down, keep your feet on the ground, and stay back. Don't push the people in front of you, okay? Now, one of the other big important questions we get asked is, do you have to use diet soda pop? No, the answer is no. You can use just about any fizzy beverage, including fizzy beverages that are made for adults. Yes, indeed. It does work with beer and champagne. It works particularly well with a German sparkling wine called Sekt. And there is so much carbon dioxide in Sekt that we got geysers with that going about 50% higher than anything we've ever seen with soda pop. But there are two important reasons that we use soda pop here. That we use diet soda pop here. First, there's no sugar. No sugar means it's not sticky. And since we are about to get soaked to the skin for your amusement, we really appreciate that it's not sticky. And second, there is more carbon dioxide in the diet soda pops. More carbon dioxide, bigger geysers, and that's what we love to see. Now, if you're gonna try this at home, and we know you will, there's one other tip for you to keep in mind.
And that's this. Use warm soda. Now, most of us keep our soda in the refrigerator and keep it nice and cold for drinking. But it turns out that what you want for good geysers is more energy in the system, and warm soda has more energy. Heat is actually just energy, so the more heat you put in your soda, the warmer your soda is, the warmer it is, the more energy you'll have, the higher, the stronger the geysers will be. Now we have a little demonstration here we've never tried before. Fritz is setting up 2 nozzles right in the front of the stage. One is nice warm soda that's been sitting out in this black stage for about 2 hours. The other has been sitting in a bucket of ice for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So one is cold and one is hot. We will aim one of these at Fritz and one of these at me. And we'll see if you can tell the difference between the cold one and the warm one. You ready? All right. Three. Yes, there's one hot and one cold. See if you can tell which is which. 3, 2, 1, pull. The only difference there is temperature. So when you make your own geysers, make sure to use warm soda, or you'll get something as pathetic as the one that shot at me. Now, do not use the microwave. If you want to heat your soda up, all you need to do is put it in a kitchen sink full of hot tap water, leave it there for 5 or 10 minutes, and it'll be beautifully warm and make great geysers. You're wet.
I'm wet already. That was awesome. Now, we hope that you'll check out our website, eepybird.com, EEPYBIRD, eepybird.com. You'll find all kinds of crazy DIY experiments, from doing Coke and Mentose yourself to creating waterfalls with sticky notes, or creating a Coke and Mentose powered rocket car that you can shoot down the street. It's wicked fun. So we hope you'll check that out. Now, in just a couple of minutes, up on this stage, there will be 108 bottles of Coke Zero. There will be about this much liquid left in each bottle. It will be flat, it will be warm, and it will have a slightly minty aftertaste. If you would like a souvenir of your time here at Maker Faire, if you'd like a souvenir of your time here at the EB Bird Coke and Mentose show, just wait about 5 minutes after the show, and up at the front corners, we will have 108 bottles to give away. There are slightly more than 108 of you here today, but we will have 108 to give away about 5 minutes after the show. So, I think we're just about ready. Are you guys ready? Awesome. All right, make some noise for Maker Faire, and let's make a big mess.
We shouldn't get sprayed, but we might. We want to do it closer. That's the risk we take. I'm waiting for the full show. Thank you for watching. This is Roy at thenewsbubble.com.
Oh my goodness, I'm so soaking wet. Well, folks, we are EP Bird. We will be here all weekend long. Tell your friends, get them out to Maker Faire, support the Maker Faire movement right here in San Mateo. We have 2 shows tomorrow, 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., and then just 1 show on Sunday at 4 p.m. on Sunday. So we hope we'll see you again. Have a great time at Maker Faire.